Welcome to the video. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful topic, the chosen one, the reason you can't stay where you are. If you've ever felt like you were meant for something more, that your purpose goes beyond your current circumstances, or if you've ever experienced that nagging feeling that you need to change, this video is for you. Many people who sense they have a special calling often find themselves struggling with this inner desire to move forward, even when the current place they are in feels comfortable, yet limiting. You've likely experienced moments when you felt like something inside of you was pushing you to grow, evolve, and take that leap, but something held you back. Maybe it's the fear of uncertainty, the comfort of familiarity, or simply not knowing what the next step might look like. But deep down, you know that your current situation doesn't fully reflect who you are or who you are becoming. The question is, what if I told you that the reason you feel stuck, the reason you can't stay where you are, is because you're being called to grow, to evolve, and to step into something greater than what you are currently experiencing? That's right. What you're feeling, that uncomfortable pull, that longing for more, is not a sign of dissatisfaction or confusion. It's a sign of something powerful. It's a sign that you're ready to embark on a journey of transformation. A journey that requires courage, determination, and a willingness to face the unknown. It's easy to become comfortable in the place where you are, especially when it feels safe and secure. But comfort can also be limiting. It can hold you back from reaching your true potential. The world around you may be urging you to stay where you are, to keep things the way they are. But deep inside, you know that staying in this place is no longer an option for you. Your heart and soul are telling you that there is more to life than what you are experiencing right now. This journey of growth and self-discovery is not always easy, and it doesn't always make sense at first. But the reward is a life of purpose, fulfillment, and alignment with who you were always meant to be. When you move past the barriers that keep you stuck and step into your true calling, you will discover that the world opens up in ways you never imagined. In this video, we're going to explore why staying where you are is no longer an option for you. We'll talk about the deep calling for change that you may be feeling, how to recognize it, and why embracing that call is the key to unlocking a life of true fulfillment. Before we dive in, I want to remind you to take a moment to like this video, share it with others who might need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel so you can access more content that helps you unlock your fullest potential. Let's jump in and start exploring why your growth cannot wait any longer. Many people who are on a unique path often feel an inner pull or calling, a sense that they are meant for something greater than their current situation. This feeling is something that cannot be easily ignored. It's an internal whisper, a deep knowing, or perhaps even a persistent thought that keeps resurfacing. There's something more to life than this. This feeling can manifest in many ways. For some, it's a nagging sense of dissatisfaction that grows stronger as they continue along a well-worn path that doesn't truly fulfill them. For others, it's a clear and undeniable sense of purpose, an almost spiritual awareness that their life has a specific mission that is waiting to unfold. At first glance, this feeling of being called can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. It's a gift because it brings a sense of purpose into your life, a clarity that says there's something bigger for you out there. It pulls you forward and drives you to dream beyond the constraints of your current reality. It gives you a sense of direction, a vision that aligns with something greater than yourself. You begin to realize that your life has a deeper meaning, one that extends beyond the day-to-day routine that you might have settled into. The realization that there is something out there that you are meant to do or become is a beautiful and empowering experience. It's like waking up from a fog and seeing a brighter path that has always been there, waiting for you to notice. However, as beautiful as this feeling is, it is also a challenge. It's a challenge because this calling often requires change. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone, leaving behind familiar environments, people, and patterns. It may require you to face fears, self-doubt, and uncertainty. It can feel intimidating to hear the call to something greater, because it's not always easy to take that first step. Change, especially when it's significant and life-altering, can feel like a risk. The very thing that is drawing you forward, the call to a greater purpose, is also the thing that makes you question your current reality. It forces you to confront the reality that staying where you are is no longer an option if you want to grow and become who you were truly meant to be. And often, that's a hard pill to swallow. Change means leaving behind what is known, even if what is known doesn't completely satisfy you. The feeling of being called to something greater is a powerful force. But it's not just about feeling inspired or dreaming of a better life. It's a call to take action, to move beyond your current limits, and to step into a future that is more aligned with your true self. The chosen one is not someone who simply accepts life as it is. They are people who are willing to take the first steps towards something unknown, who are willing to make the hard decisions necessary to step into their full potential. The calling is not just a quiet thought in the back of your mind. It's a challenge to rise up and live with intention. It's a voice that says, "You are meant for more than this." In many ways, the inner calling is like a compass. It's the inner voice that tells you when you are off course, when you are not aligned with your true self. It shows you when your actions no longer align with your purpose. While the people around you may be content in their own lives, the chosen one feels a stirring that something bigger is waiting. This stirring is a sense of urgency. It's the voice that tells you that where you are now is no longer enough. That feeling of dissatisfaction, that growing sense of unease, is not just about the situation you're in. It's a reflection of the inner wisdom telling you that growth is on the horizon. It's a sign that something is about to change, something within you, something within your life, and you can no longer ignore it. But understanding this call is just the beginning. The next step is recognizing that it's a sign of growth. If you feel called to something greater, it's because you are ready for that growth. The discomfort you feel in your current situation is not a sign that something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it's a sign that you are ready for change, that you are ready to evolve into the next version of yourself. The feeling of wanting to move forward, to step out of the comfort zone, is one of the clearest indicators that growth is necessary. It's a sign that you are no longer content to live life on autopilot, merely going through the motions. You are being urged to expand your horizons and explore new possibilities. But recognizing this call for growth isn't always easy. The world around you often sends conflicting messages. Society tends to value comfort and stability, and there's a certain pressure to remain where you are, to settle into a predictable and safe life. When you feel a strong inner pull toward change, it can feel like you're going against the grain. You might even question whether this inner pull is a sign of dissatisfaction or just a fleeting whim. Is it truly your purpose, or is it just a momentary feeling? But this calling goes beyond fleeting thoughts. It is a deep, consistent feeling that refuses to fade. It lingers in the background, urging you to pay attention, to listen closely to your own desires and inner wisdom. In this section, we're going to explore how this feeling of being called is often misunderstood. People who feel they are meant for more than their current situation may try to ignore the call, believing that it's impractical or unrealistic. They might try to push it aside, convincing themselves that the status quo is enough. But the more they ignore it, the stronger it grows, until they can no longer deny it. The chosen one is not someone who conforms to what others expect. Rather, they listen to the quiet voice inside that says, "You are here for something greater. You have the potential to become something more." Recognizing that you have been called to something greater is not an easy realization, but it is the first step toward understanding why you can't stay where you are. The journey ahead will require courage, but the reward is worth it. When you take that first step toward embracing your calling, you'll discover that the discomfort you feel in your current situation is not a curse. It's the key to unlocking your future. Understanding the call to something greater means acknowledging that your current circumstances are simply a stepping stone, not the final destination. You are on a path that is meant to challenge you, help you grow, and push you toward becoming the best version of yourself. It's not an easy path, but it is one that is full of possibility. When you answer that inner call, you open the door to opportunities and experiences that will ultimately lead you to a life that is fulfilling, purposeful, and true to who you are meant to be. So, if you've ever felt that pull, that sense of urgency, that feeling that you are meant for something greater, it's time to listen. It's time to recognize that the discomfort and the desire for change are signs of growth. Embrace it, and know that by stepping forward, you're taking the first step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. One of the hardest parts of moving forward, especially when you feel called to something greater, is breaking free from your comfort zone. The comfort zone is often seen as a place of safety and familiarity, a space where the risks are minimal and the path ahead is predictable. In many ways, it offers a sense of stability, and for many, that's a deeply comforting feeling. You know what to expect, you know how to navigate through the day, and you understand the boundaries that keep you safe. But for those who are called to something greater, the comfort zone can start to feel less like a sanctuary and more like a prison. It becomes a place that limits your potential, keeps you stagnant, and prevents you from reaching the heights you were meant to climb. The reason leaving your comfort zone feels so difficult is because it is, by definition, a space where we feel secure. It's human nature to avoid discomfort, and the comfort zone is a place where we don't have to face the uncertainty of the unknown. But the very thing that makes the comfort zone feel safe is also what keeps you stuck. It creates a false sense of security, one that tells you that staying in your current situation, no matter how limiting it might be, is better than venturing into the unknown. The fear of stepping into something unfamiliar, of leaving behind what you know, can paralyze even the most determined person. It's a fear that feeds on the doubt that you can succeed, that you are capable of thriving outside the boundaries of what you already know. For many people, the comfort zone is a trap they've created without even realizing it. It's not something that's imposed by the outside world, but something that comes from within. It's built on the stories we tell ourselves about what's safe, what's possible, and what we deserve. The comfort zone becomes a psychological space that convinces us that anything beyond it is too risky, too dangerous, or too uncertain. It's an invisible cage that keeps us from reaching for more, even when our hearts and minds are telling us that we are capable of something greater. The comfort zone may seem like a place of peace and stability, but it can also be the very thing holding us back from living the life we were meant to live. The process of recognizing that your comfort zone is no longer serving you is often the first sign that you are ready for change. At some point, you begin to feel restless. You might feel that nagging sense of dissatisfaction or frustration, as though something is missing from your life. It's as if there's a voice inside you saying, "You're meant for more." There's a greater version of yourself waiting to emerge. The problem is, the comfort zone keeps you from fully embracing that voice. It tells you that change is too risky, that staying where you are is the safer choice. But deep down, you know that staying in your comfort zone means denying your potential, ignoring your calling, and suppressing the desire for something more meaningful. One of the most challenging aspects of leaving the comfort zone is the fear of failure. The comfort zone feels safe because there is little risk involved. You know what to expect, you've mastered the routines, and you've become comfortable with the environment you're in. Stepping out of that comfort zone means venturing into the unknown, where failure feels like a real possibility. The fear of failure can be paralyzing because it taps into our deepest insecurities. We don't want to fail, and so we stay where it feels safe. But the truth is, failure is not something to be feared. It's part of the growth process. Every successful person has faced failure at some point. They didn't let it stop them. They used it as a stepping stone to build resilience, learn lessons, and keep moving forward. Staying in your comfort zone may protect you from failure, but it also limits your potential for success. Another reason it's so hard to leave your comfort zone is because of the uncertainty that comes with change. The unknown is often much scarier than what we already know. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you are entering unfamiliar territory. You don't know exactly what's ahead, and that uncertainty can feel unsettling. Your mind might race with questions. What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? These questions are natural, but they often create a narrative of fear that keeps you paralyzed. The comfort zone becomes a shield against these fears, even if it means staying in a situation that no longer serves you. But the only way to overcome this fear is by taking that first step into the unknown, trusting that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. When you feel stuck in your comfort zone, it's often a sign that you are ready for a shift. You've outgrown the place you are in, and the restlessness you feel is your soul urging you to move forward. The discomfort of being stuck is not something to ignore or dismiss. It's the first sign that you are ready to grow. The desire for more, for something greater, is not a random thought. It's a calling, an invitation to take that leap and see what lies beyond. Growth requires you to step outside of what you already know. It requires you to face the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the fear of the unknown. And while it might feel terrifying at first, it is the only way to unlock your true potential. To break free from the comfort zone, you need to shift your mindset. Instead of viewing change as a threat, view it as an opportunity. See it as a chance to grow, to learn, and to discover what you are truly capable of. The comfort zone can only take you so far. It's in the unknown, in the new experiences, and in the challenges that you will find your strength and your purpose. The first step is often the hardest, but it is also the most important. Once you take that step, you'll find that the world is full of possibilities, and that the fears and doubts that once held you back are nothing more than illusions. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it is also a cage that keeps you from the life you are meant to live. When you feel that sense of dissatisfaction, that tug to move forward, know that it's not something to ignore. It's a sign that you are ready for something greater, and the only way to embrace that is by stepping outside of what is familiar. The process will be uncomfortable, but it will also be liberating. Every step you take toward leaving your comfort zone is a step toward unlocking your true potential and stepping into the life you were always meant to live. The challenges you face along the way are not obstacles, they are opportunities for growth, for learning, and for becoming the best version of yourself. So, if you're feeling stuck, restless, or frustrated with where you are in life, it's time to recognize that the comfort zone is no longer serving you. The feeling of being stuck is often the first sign that you're ready to move forward, to break free, and to step into something greater. Embrace the discomfort, face the fear, and take that first step toward change. The journey may not be easy, but it will be worth it. The life you are meant to live is waiting for you on the other side of the comfort zone. When you are called to something new, whether it's a change in career, a new relationship, or a new phase in your life, the fear of the unknown can be overwhelming. It's natural to feel nervous or uncertain about stepping into unfamiliar territory. The future, with all its possibilities, can seem like a vast, uncharted landscape, and the thought of moving forward into it can stir up a deep sense of fear. What if you fail? What if you make the wrong choice? What if things don't turn out as planned? These questions, these fears, are natural human responses to the unknown. But while they may feel real and intense, they often hold us back from stepping into the life we are meant to live. The fear of the unknown is one of the most powerful forces that can keep us stuck in our current circumstances. It's a psychological barrier that makes us second-guess every decision, every step we need to take. It convinces us that the familiar, even if it's no longer serving us, is safer than venturing into something new. This fear whispers to us that it's better to stay where we are, even if we feel unfulfilled, rather than take a chance on something we cannot yet see or predict. But the truth is, this fear is often more paralyzing than the actual experience of change. The unknown is simply that, unknown. And just because we don't know what lies ahead, doesn't mean it's something to fear. In fact, it's often the uncertainty of the future that holds the greatest opportunities for growth and discovery. One of the reasons the fear of the unknown is so powerful is because it taps into our primal instincts. As humans, we are wired for survival, and uncertainty can trigger our fight or flight response. The unknown represents danger because we have no way of knowing what to expect or how to navigate it. This feeling of vulnerability is uncomfortable, and we are naturally drawn to situations where we can predict the outcome. This need for control and predictability makes the prospect of change feel like a risk that could expose us to failure, embarrassment, or even harm. It's easy to convince ourselves that staying in the known is the safest option, but in doing so, we close ourselves off from the possibility of new experiences, growth, and the fulfillment that comes with stepping into our potential. This fear is especially potent when we are on the verge of significant change, when we are being called to take that next step in life. Whether it's leaving a job, starting a business, pursuing a passion, or entering a new relationship, the fear of the unknown can feel all-consuming. It can make us question everything. What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? What if people don't support me? These thoughts can create a cloud of doubt that blocks our clarity and keeps us paralyzed in place. However, this fear, as overwhelming as it may feel, is not something to be avoided or denied. Instead, it is something to acknowledge and face head-on. The first step in overcoming the fear of the unknown is to recognize that fear is a natural part of the process of growth. Every time we step into a new phase of life, we are confronted with uncertainty. It's impossible to know exactly what will happen, and that's okay. The unknown is a space where transformation happens. It's where we have the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to evolve into the person we are meant to be. Change is always accompanied by uncertainty, but that doesn't mean it's something to fear. Instead, it's something to embrace as part of the journey. The discomfort that accompanies the fear of the unknown is a signal that you are stepping out of your comfort zone and expanding your horizons. It's a sign that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't feel comfortable at first. One of the most powerful ways to overcome the fear of the unknown is by trusting yourself. Self-doubt is a major byproduct of fear. When we are afraid of the unknown, we often question our own abilities, judgment, and capacity to handle what lies ahead. We fear that we won't be able to make the right decisions, or that we won't be able to handle the challenges that arise. This self-doubt creates a barrier between us and the life we are meant to live. But when we trust ourselves, when we trust our instincts, our strengths, and our ability to learn and grow, we begin to see the unknown through a different lens. We begin to recognize that while we can't control everything, we can trust ourselves to handle whatever comes our way. Trusting yourself means believing that you are capable of navigating uncertainty. It means acknowledging that you don't need all the answers right now. You don't need to know every step of the journey in advance. What matters is that you take the first step with confidence, knowing that you have the ability to adapt and learn along the way. Trusting yourself is about surrendering to the process, accepting that uncertainty is part of life, and embracing it as an opportunity for growth. When you trust yourself, you release the need for control and allow yourself to move forward with faith in your ability to navigate the unknown. Another key to overcoming the fear of the unknown is embracing the process of growth itself. Growth is rarely linear, and it rarely comes without challenges. The process of stepping into something new requires vulnerability, courage, and a willingness to make mistakes. It's about taking action, even when you're not sure what the outcome will be. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the person you are meant to become. You don't need to have everything figured out right away. In fact, it's often through the process of trial and error that we gain clarity and direction. The unknown is where we learn what we are capable of, and where we discover new strengths and abilities that we never knew we had. This process of growth can feel uncomfortable, and it can stir up a lot of fear and uncertainty. But it's through this discomfort that we are transformed. The fear of the unknown may try to hold you back, but every time you choose to move forward despite that fear, you build resilience, confidence, and a deeper sense of trust in yourself. You start to see the unknown not as something to be feared, but as a space full of potential. Each step forward, even in the face of fear, is a victory that brings you closer to the life you are meant to live. One of the best ways to overcome the fear of the unknown is by focusing on the possibilities rather than the potential pitfalls. It's easy to get caught up in worst-case scenarios and let the fear of failure dictate your actions. But the unknown is full of opportunities, and when you shift your focus to what could go right, the new experiences, the personal growth, the rewards of embracing change, you start to see the unknown in a new light. The possibilities are endless, and the fear that once seemed so overwhelming starts to feel more manageable. In addition to focusing on the possibilities, it can be helpful to take small steps toward the unknown. Instead of trying to leap into the unknown all at once, take gradual steps that feel more manageable. Each small step will build your confidence and make the bigger leap feel less intimidating. By breaking down the process of change into smaller, more achievable goals, you make it easier to face the unknown without feeling overwhelmed. Every time you push through the fear and take that next step, you are strengthening your ability to handle whatever challenges lie ahead. In the end, the fear of the unknown will always be a part of the process of growth and transformation. But it doesn't have to control you. By trusting yourself, embracing the growth process, and focusing on the possibilities, you can move forward with confidence and courage. The unknown is where the magic happens. It's where your potential is unlocked, and where you find the life you've always been meant to live. So, the next time you feel the fear of the unknown creeping in, remember that it's a sign that you are on the verge of something incredible. Embrace it, trust yourself, and step into the future with an open heart and mind. The unknown is your invitation to grow. Growth is not easy. In fact, growth often requires discomfort, and that discomfort is one of the most essential components of transformation. It is through pushing past our limits that we unlock new levels of potential, both in our personal and professional lives. The process of growth is not designed to feel comfortable, and in many cases, if it feels easy, then you might not be challenging yourself enough. This section will explore why growth is inherently uncomfortable and why pushing yourself beyond your current situation is crucial to unlocking your true power. We will also discuss how discomfort is not something to be avoided, but rather embraced as a necessary part of the journey, one that will ultimately lead you to a better version of yourself and bring you closer to fulfilling your life's purpose. One of the most common misconceptions about personal growth is that it should feel easy or natural. We are often told to follow our passion, find our purpose, and let everything fall into place. While these things may sound ideal, they can sometimes create unrealistic expectations. The truth is that growth often involves struggle, pain, and moments of uncertainty. When we're growing, we're venturing into new territory. We're challenging old beliefs, trying new things, and learning skills we may not have developed before. This requires effort, time, and yes, discomfort. If we think about any significant achievement in life, we realize that it didn't come without its challenges. Whether it's starting a new career, learning a new skill, or taking on a leadership role, these experiences all require a certain level of discomfort. Why? Because we are stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is inherently unsettling. But that is exactly why it's so powerful. When we step out of our comfort zones and push ourselves beyond what we know, we expand our capabilities and unlock new potential that we didn't even realize was there. The key to growth is understanding that it doesn't always feel good in the moment. The discomfort you feel when you push yourself is a natural part of the process. Think about physical growth. Muscles grow and become stronger only after they are pushed beyond their current capacity. When you lift weights, for example, you're not simply going through the motions. You're breaking down muscle fibers, causing them to rebuild and grow back stronger. The same principle applies to personal growth. When we push ourselves mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, we are breaking down old patterns of thinking and acting, and in doing so, we make room for something new, something more powerful. This concept is often difficult to accept because we live in a society that places a high value on comfort and instant gratification. It's easy to believe that if something is difficult, it's a sign that you should stop, or that you're not on the right path. However, discomfort is actually one of the clearest signs that you are on the right track. If everything felt easy, there would be no growth. Growth requires you to be challenged. It requires you to feel the pressure, to be stretched beyond your current abilities, and to face obstacles that force you to adapt and become stronger. These moments of discomfort are actually the times when you are doing the most important work of your life. The work of transforming yourself into someone capable of achieving your greatest potential. When we are in the midst of discomfort, it can be tempting to avoid it. We may find ourselves resisting change, hoping that things will return to a state of ease. We might procrastinate, delay important decisions, or even try to stay in situations that no longer serve us because the thought of making a change feels too overwhelming. But avoiding discomfort is like avoiding growth. It's like trying to stop a plant from growing by keeping it in the shade forever. The plant will never reach its full potential unless it's given the space, light, and resources it needs to grow. And the same applies to us. If we avoid discomfort, we avoid growth. We avoid the very thing that will propel us forward on our journey to fulfill our purpose. One of the most significant ways discomfort plays a role in growth is through pushing us past our limits. When you're in a situation that challenges you, it forces you to expand what you believe is possible. You begin to see that you are capable of more than you thought. You may be faced with challenges that push you to learn new skills or develop new ways of thinking. These experiences stretch you in ways that you didn't expect, but they are precisely what help you evolve into the person you need to be to achieve your goals. It's easy to stay where you are, but staying comfortable means remaining the same person. To fulfill your purpose and step into a greater version of yourself, you need to embrace the discomfort that comes with change. Discomfort means that you are growing, evolving, and moving in the direction of your purpose. It's often during the most uncomfortable times in our lives that we experience our greatest breakthroughs. These moments of discomfort are often the prelude to something amazing. You may feel overwhelmed or anxious, but trust that it's part of the process. You are being stretched, and once you break through, you'll look back and realize just how much stronger and more capable you've become. Consider the process of learning to ride a bike. In the beginning, it's difficult. You might fall, feel unstable, and question whether you'll ever get it right. But with every attempt, you are becoming more skilled, and eventually, you can ride with ease. That discomfort you felt during the learning process was the key to mastering the skill. Without it, you would never have learned how to balance, steer, and navigate your bike. Growth works the same way. It's uncomfortable at first, but it's necessary to become the person you need to be. The same principle applies to overcoming fears and limiting beliefs. The more you push past your comfort zone, the more you will see that your fears are often unfounded. The discomfort of facing your fears, whether it's speaking in front of a group, confronting a difficult conversation, or taking on a new project, is often the catalyst that leads you to greater confidence and resilience. As you break through the barriers that once held you back, you will begin to see just how much more you are capable of than you ever imagined. It's important to realize that growth is not a destination, but a journey. There will always be new challenges and discomforts to face, but each time you step into the discomfort, you are becoming stronger, more capable, and closer to fulfilling your potential. This journey of growth will lead you to the most fulfilling version of yourself, one that is confident, resilient, and aligned with your true purpose. So, how do you embrace the discomfort that comes with growth? The first step is to shift your mindset. Instead of viewing discomfort as a negative, see it as a necessary part of the process. Understand that discomfort is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. It's a sign that you are expanding, that you are moving forward, and that you are becoming the person you need to be to fulfill your purpose. Secondly, take small steps. You don't have to leap into the unknown all at once. Start by pushing yourself a little outside of your comfort zone and gradually increase the challenges you face. With each step, you will gain confidence and resilience, and the discomfort will become more manageable. Remember that growth takes time and patience. The key is to keep going, even when it feels uncomfortable. Lastly, surround yourself with people who support and encourage your growth. Having a support system that understands and believes in your journey can make all the difference. These people can help you stay focused on your purpose and remind you that discomfort is a necessary part of the process. They can help you keep moving forward when you want to give up and celebrate your victories with you along the way. In the end, the discomfort you feel is not something to fear or avoid. It's a necessary part of the transformation process, one that will lead you to a better version of yourself and bring you closer to fulfilling your true purpose. Embrace it, trust the process, and remember that the person you are becoming is worth every uncomfortable step along the way. Change is a fundamental aspect of life, a constant that is ever present and inevitable. For those who feel like the chosen one, those who sense a calling to something greater than what they currently know, change is not just a part of the journey, it is often the very catalyst that sparks transformation and success. It is through change that we grow, learn, and evolve into the person we are meant to be. And though change can be uncomfortable, daunting, or even overwhelming at times, it is through embracing change that we unlock limitless possibilities and step into the purpose we were always meant to fulfill. In life, change is unavoidable. It is happening constantly, whether it's in the world around us, in our circumstances, or within us. The seasons change, people change, technology changes, and we change as we gain experience and wisdom. Yet despite its inevitability, many people resist change because it often challenges the status quo. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and forces us to confront the unknown, and that can be uncomfortable, even terrifying. But the truth is, the fear of change is often what holds us back from the incredible opportunities and growth that are waiting for us. For those who feel they have a special calling, those who sense that they are meant for something more, the power of change is a crucial aspect of the journey. The calling you feel within you is a sign that you are not meant to stay where you are. It's a push toward the transformation that will allow you to step into your fullest potential. Embracing change is not just about accepting external shifts in your environment, it's about embracing the internal shift that allows you to see beyond your current limitations and move toward a future that is aligned with your true self. One of the greatest challenges of embracing change is the resistance that arises when it's time to let go of what is familiar. As human beings, we naturally crave stability and security. We want to know what's coming next, to feel safe in our surroundings, and to have control over our lives. When faced with change, especially significant change, it can feel like we are giving up that security. We may worry about losing what we have, or we may fear that we won't be able to handle the changes that lie ahead. But the truth is that resisting change only keeps us stuck. It keeps us tethered to the past, to old ways of thinking, and to circumstances that no longer serve us. Resisting change is like trying to swim upstream. It takes an immense amount of energy and effort, but it gets you nowhere. On the other hand, embracing change allows you to flow with the current, to adapt, and to move forward with greater ease. Change is the force that propels us into new opportunities, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. By resisting it, we deny ourselves the chance to evolve and grow. Embracing change, on the other hand, opens up a world of limitless possibilities. It allows us to move beyond the limitations of our past and create the life we were always meant to live. The power of change is transformative because it forces us to confront and break through the barriers that hold us back. These barriers can be internal, limiting beliefs, fear of failure, self-doubt, or external, such as societal expectations, family pressures, or financial limitations. But change challenges us to push through those barriers, to face them head-on, and ask ourselves, what am I truly capable of? It's in the moments of change that we discover just how strong, resilient, and capable we are. We learn new things about ourselves and about the world, and we develop the tools and skills needed to navigate whatever comes our way. When we resist change, we stay stuck in patterns of thought and behavior that limit our potential. We cling to what is comfortable, even if it is not fulfilling, because it feels safe and familiar. But by embracing change, we open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Change brings new perspectives, new opportunities, and new challenges, each of which plays a role in shaping us into the person we are meant to become. The power of change is that it forces us to evolve, to become more than what we were before. It pushes us to break free from our limitations and step into a future that is aligned with our true purpose. The process of embracing change often involves letting go of what no longer serves us, whether that's relationships, jobs, mindsets, or even our own self-concept. Letting go can be painful. It can feel like a loss, and in many ways it is. But this loss is necessary for growth. Just as a seed must break free from its shell to grow into a plant, we too must shed old layers of ourselves to grow into who we are meant to be. The discomfort we feel in these moments is a sign that we are evolving. It's the growing pains that come with stepping into our true potential. Embracing change also requires a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing change as something to fear, we can choose to see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn, to expand, and to grow into a stronger, more capable version of ourselves. The key is to change our perspective. Rather than focusing on the fear and uncertainty that comes with change, we can focus on the possibilities it brings. Change allows us to let go of the limitations we've placed on ourselves and step into a new reality, one that is filled with opportunities, growth, and fulfillment. One of the most powerful aspects of change is that it often forces us to act. When life is comfortable, we tend to become complacent. We settle into routines and don't feel the urgency to move forward. But when change comes, it often demands action. Whether it's a shift in circumstances, a new opportunity, or an internal urge to change, we are pushed to make decisions, to take risks, and to step into the unknown. It's through these actions that we begin to create the life we truly want. The fear and uncertainty that come with change are often the very things that propel us into action. They force us to make choices and take steps that we might have hesitated to make otherwise. And it is through these choices that we begin to shape our future. The power of change is not just about external circumstances shifting. It's about our internal transformation. It's about breaking free from old thought patterns, old fears, and old behaviors that no longer serve us. It's about evolving into the person we need to be to fulfill our purpose and step into the life we were always meant to live. Change allows us to step beyond the person we were yesterday and embrace the person we are becoming. And it's through this process of transformation that we find our true power. So, if you're feeling called to something greater, know that change is a necessary part of the journey. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is through this discomfort that you will grow. It is through change that you will discover your true potential, break free from limitations, and step into the life you are meant to live. Embrace the power of change, trust the process, and know that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Change is not to be feared, it is to be welcomed as the powerful force that propels you into a future filled with limitless possibilities. When you feel called to move forward in your life, the key to navigating the unknown and overcoming your fears lies in learning to trust your inner wisdom. Your intuition, that quiet yet powerful voice within, is a guide that has been with you since the beginning. It knows what you need, what you are capable of, and where you are meant to go. Often, we dismiss or ignore our inner voice because it doesn't always make sense or doesn't align with the expectations of the outside world. But when you tune into it, when you listen to the guidance that comes from within, you unlock a deeper level of clarity and insight that helps you move forward with confidence, no matter how uncertain the journey ahead may seem. Trusting your inner wisdom is not about following a set of rigid rules or relying on external sources for validation. It's about learning to listen to that subtle inner voice that speaks to you when you are open and receptive. It's the part of you that knows the truth, even when everything around you seems chaotic or confusing. It's easy to get lost in the noise of daily life, to become consumed by the opinions of others or the pressures of society. But the more you trust in yourself, the clearer that inner voice becomes. When you learn to follow it, you begin to align yourself with your true purpose and move toward the life you are meant to live. In a world that often tells us to look for answers outside of ourselves, it can be challenging to believe in our own ability to know what's best for us. Society constantly bombards us with messages about success, happiness, and the right way to live, and it's easy to get caught up in those ideals. But trusting your inner wisdom means letting go of the need to have all the answers and instead allowing yourself to follow the path that feels right for you. It's about listening to the whispers within, rather than seeking validation from others or following a prescribed path that doesn't truly resonate with who you are. One of the first steps to cultivating trust in yourself is to quiet the external noise and give yourself space to listen. This can be difficult in a world filled with distractions. We are constantly surrounded by opinions, advice, and information that can easily cloud our judgment. However, it is in the stillness that we are able to hear our inner wisdom most clearly. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, or simply taking a moment of silence, the key is creating space for your intuition to speak. When you make the effort to quiet the outside world, you open yourself up to receiving the guidance that is already within you. As you begin to listen more closely to your intuition, it's important to understand that trust is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not always easy. Self-doubt and fear can often cloud your judgment, making it difficult to discern whether the guidance you're receiving is truly from within or just a result of anxiety or worry. But the more you practice tuning in, the easier it becomes to differentiate between the voice of your intuition and the noise of your fears. Trusting yourself means allowing those feelings of doubt to arise, but not letting them control your decisions. It's about recognizing them, acknowledging them, and then moving forward anyway. With time, your ability to trust your inner wisdom will grow, and you'll find yourself making decisions that align more closely with your true self. A powerful aspect of trusting your inner wisdom is learning to trust your feelings. Intuition often speaks to us through our emotions. When we experience a sense of peace, excitement, or ease, it's a sign that we are on the right path. Conversely, feelings of discomfort, unease, or resistance can be signals that we are heading in the wrong direction. It's important to pay attention to these feelings and use them as a compass for making decisions. Our emotions are not something to be feared or suppressed. They are messages from our inner selves, guiding us toward the right path. Another key element of trusting your inner wisdom is taking action. It's easy to feel inspired or connected to your intuition in moments of calm, but it's only through taking action that you truly begin to see the power of your inner guidance. It's one thing to hear the voice of your intuition, but it's another to follow through and trust it enough to take the necessary steps. This requires courage. It requires letting go of the need for certainty and trusting that even if you don't know exactly what the next step will be, you will be supported along the way. The act of taking that first step is a powerful demonstration of self-trust. When you trust yourself enough to take action, even in the face of uncertainty, you align yourself with the flow of your purpose. Over time, as you consistently listen to your inner wisdom and take action based on that guidance, you will find that you become more aligned with your true self. The decisions you make will feel easier, the path ahead will feel clearer, and you will begin to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment. This is the power of trusting yourself. It's not just about making the right choices, it's about aligning your entire life with your authentic self and trusting that you have everything within you to navigate the challenges ahead. Trusting your inner wisdom also involves embracing vulnerability. It's about being willing to admit that you don't have all the answers and that you don't need to have it all figured out right away. Life is a journey, and part of that journey involves learning, evolving, and growing. There will be times when you make mistakes or when you feel lost. But these moments are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to deepen your trust in yourself. When you face challenges, your intuition is still there, guiding you and teaching you the lessons you need to move forward. Trusting yourself means embracing these moments of vulnerability and using them to build resilience. There will also be times when others doubt your decisions or question the path you are on. This is where the power of self-trust becomes even more important. The world around you may not always understand your choices, and people may offer advice or opinions that contradict your intuition. But trusting yourself means standing firm in your own truth. You don't need the approval of others to move forward on your path. You only need to trust that your inner wisdom knows the way. In conclusion, trusting your inner wisdom is one of the most empowering things you can do on your journey of self-discovery and transformation. It is the key to unlocking your true potential and stepping into your purpose. By cultivating trust in yourself, you open the door to a life that is aligned with your true desires, values, and mission. Listening to your intuition, taking action, and embracing vulnerability are all essential components of this process. As you learn to trust yourself, you will find that the path ahead becomes clearer, the decisions you make become more aligned with your true self, and you will ultimately step into the life you were always meant to live. Trust in yourself, and you will find that you have everything you need to move forward with confidence, courage, and clarity. The final step in this journey is one of the most critical and transformative moments: taking action and stepping into your purpose. It's one thing to feel a deep sense of calling to something greater, to experience that inner pull toward a life that feels more aligned with who you are meant to be. It's another to actually take the steps necessary to live that calling out in the world. The path to fulfilling your purpose isn't always smooth or easy. There are challenges, uncertainties, and moments of doubt that will test your resolve. But in the end, the most powerful thing you can do is make the conscious decision to take that first step toward your purpose. When you feel called to something greater, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the idea of how big or far off that calling might seem. The future might feel distant, and the path ahead may appear unclear or intimidating. You may ask yourself, where do I even begin? The truth is, it all starts with a single step. While the destination might seem far off, the process of stepping into your purpose begins with making a conscious choice to move forward. The very act of choosing to take that first step can be the most transformative moment of your life. The first step is often the hardest, especially when you've been sitting with the idea of your calling for a while. It's one thing to dream about a future filled with purpose and alignment, but it's another to actually start making decisions that reflect those dreams. The fear of failure, the uncertainty of what's to come, and the weight of responsibility can make that first leap feel daunting. But what you must realize is that the first step doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be the grandest move or the most polished action. It just needs to be a step, no matter how small, in the direction of your purpose. Aligning your actions with your purpose is about making conscious decisions that reflect the life you want to create. It's not about waiting for everything to fall into place perfectly, or for the circumstances to be ideal. Life rarely works that way. If you wait for the perfect time, or for everything to line up just right, you may find yourself waiting forever. The truth is, the universe rewards action. When you decide to take a step forward, even when you don't have all the answers, you begin to create momentum in the direction of your purpose. Action creates clarity. The more you move forward, the clearer the path becomes. By taking action, you begin to align your intentions with your reality, bringing your purpose to life in tangible ways. Stepping into your purpose is also about overcoming the fear and resistance that naturally arise when you decide to make a change. As you take that leap, there will likely be voices, both external and internal, that try to convince you to stay where you are. The fear of making the wrong decision, of facing rejection or failure, can hold you back. It's natural to feel apprehensive when you're venturing into new territory, but these fears are not signs that you should stop. Instead, they are indicators that you are moving outside your comfort zone and into growth. The discomfort you feel is a necessary part of the process. It's through overcoming these fears and pushing past resistance that you gain the confidence and resilience needed to stay on course. One of the key reasons people struggle to take that first step is because they don't fully trust themselves. They doubt their ability to succeed, or they fear they are not equipped to handle what lies ahead. But the truth is, you have everything you need within you to begin the journey. Trusting yourself is an essential part of stepping into your purpose. You might not have every answer or every resource you think you need, but you have the strength, the drive, and the intuition to take that first step. The universe tends to meet you halfway when you begin to take action. When you make the decision to trust yourself and your journey, doors begin to open in ways you couldn't have predicted. The more you trust your inner wisdom and act on it, the more the path unfolds before you. Another crucial element of stepping into your purpose is understanding that this is a journey, not a destination. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that fulfilling your purpose means reaching a specific point or achieving a particular goal. But in reality, your purpose is an ongoing process. Every action you take, every decision you make is part of the journey. Even the setbacks and challenges are integral to the process of growth and self-discovery. The path to your purpose is not always linear. There will be twists, turns, and unexpected detours. But each experience, whether a success or a failure, contributes to the deeper understanding of who you are and what you are meant to do. As you take steps toward your purpose, it's important to remember that the road may not always be easy. There will be times when the path feels unclear, and you may question whether you're on the right track. But during these moments, it's crucial to stay connected to your inner wisdom and trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should. The key is perseverance. Keep moving forward even when it feels difficult. The obstacles you face are not roadblocks, they are opportunities for you to grow stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. At times, you may feel like you are not making progress or that you are stuck. During these moments, it's helpful to reflect on why you started this journey in the first place. Reconnect with the reason you felt called to something greater. What was the original spark of inspiration that pushed you to want more for yourself and your life? Remind yourself of that vision and use it as motivation to keep going. Even when progress feels slow, each small step forward is a step in the right direction. Trust that every effort you put in, no matter how minor it seems, is building the foundation for a life of purpose and fulfillment. Stepping into your purpose also requires a level of vulnerability. When you take action and put yourself out there, you are exposing yourself to the world in ways that can feel risky. There may be times when you feel uncertain or afraid of judgment from others. But being vulnerable, being willing to share your authentic self with the world, is one of the most powerful ways to connect with your purpose. Vulnerability is what allows you to tap into your deepest desires and share them with the world. It's what allows you to be real, to be seen, and to live in alignment with your true self. The more you embrace your vulnerability, the more you will be able to step into your purpose with confidence and courage. As you continue to move forward, remember that your purpose is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be lived. It is an ongoing process of growth, evolution, and discovery. Each step you take brings you closer to the person you were always meant to be. And the more you step into that version of yourself, the more fulfilling your life will become. Stepping into your purpose is about making the choice to live authentically, to trust yourself, and to take action that aligns with your deepest values and passions. It is through this commitment to yourself and your purpose that you will create a life that is not only meaningful, but truly extraordinary. So, the next time you feel that pull to step into something greater, don't hold back. Take that first step, no matter how small, and trust that the universe will meet you halfway. Embrace the uncertainty, the challenges, and the discomfort as part of the process. You are capable of achieving everything you were meant to do. All it takes is that first leap of faith. Trust yourself, trust the journey, and take the action needed to step into the future that awaits you. The life you are meant to live is waiting for you to show up and embrace it with open arms. As we wrap up today's video, remember this: you are not meant to stay where you are. The feeling that you can't remain in your current situation is not something to be feared, but something to embrace. It is a sign that you are being called to something greater, a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and growth. That feeling of discomfort, that urge to move forward, is not a sign of dissatisfaction, but a powerful invitation to step into the next chapter of your life. This journey, though challenging at times, will bring you closer to becoming the person you are truly meant to be. This journey will require courage, faith, and a willingness to embrace change, especially when it feels uncomfortable. Change is an essential part of growth, and though it may feel like stepping into the unknown, it is exactly where your transformation lies. It is through the discomfort of change that you find the strength to grow, evolve, and become more aligned with your true self. The unknown can be daunting, but it is also the very space where you will find your greatest potential, your true calling, and the life that you were meant to lead. The key to moving forward on this journey is to trust your inner wisdom. Your intuition, the quiet guidance that speaks to you in moments of reflection, knows the way. Trust that inner voice, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Take that first step into the unknown with faith that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Trust that the universe will support you as you move closer to your purpose. That first step, no matter how small, is often the most transformative moment of your life. It sets the momentum in motion, and as you keep moving forward, the path will become clearer, and you will discover new strengths within yourself. Remember, growth is not a straight line. It will be filled with ups and downs, moments of doubt and uncertainty. But each challenge is an opportunity for you to become stronger, wiser, and more connected to your true self. Embrace the discomfort, knowing that it is a sign of progress. Continue to grow even when it feels difficult, because every step you take is one step closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring and helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to more content that will empower and guide you on your journey of self-discovery and transformation. Keep pushing forward, embrace your growth, and trust that the best is yet to come. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness, and I can't wait to see the incredible things you will achieve. See you in the next video.